Sir, like you want to share some thoughts on the maybe the ancillary or investable pockets and a broader view on valuation, maybe.
So yeah, I mean, EV has become a buzzword, and a lot of companies are showing now, revenue from EV, and basically in all investor presentations. Also, you are seeing that in auto ancillary companies. Uh, I'm just saying that I think ICE will also coexist for quite some time. EV will pick up. And I agree with Vikesh, the faster adoption will be in two-wheelers and three-wheelers. Uh, but at the same time, that market is still not big enough. And a lot of these companies have run far ahead of valuation. So one needs to be careful, is what I would say. Many companies are good companies, but then valuation comfort might not be there. So just don't invest only on the EV hype. And also amongst the OEMs and all that, you still don't know who are the clear winners. Though I think TVS is one which is from the bigger ones, which seems to have got its act together. Uh, but then again, still a small percentage of their total sales. And I will not comment on valuations of the company or anything, but uh, the other ones probably are still in wait and watch mode, and will come in at certain point in time. Uh, but who will be the winners? It is difficult to guess right now, I think. Uh, on the four-wheeler side, Tata has got a march ahead, and in three-wheelers, I think Mahindra is doing well. Uh, but then others will also come in, and we will have a lot of competition in the space. So uh, all I'm saying is that be careful of the valuations you want to invest at.
Thank you so much for your views, sir, and thanks everyone for joining in today. It is always a pleasure, and specifically, you guys are sparing time on Sunday, so it greatly shows how much interest you guys have in financial markets. So keep supporting, keep joining. Thank you so much.
Prince, I think
Yes,
we
sir.
have Deepak also, so we can hear some views from him also. That will be great if we can invite him as a speaker and if he's willing to speak.
Yeah, sure, sir. Let me, Deepak from Capital Mind, sir.
Yes, yes, Deepak Singh.
Okay, let me add him. Sir, I sent the speaker request, so I request Deepak sir if he's free, so he can join and add some comments to the today's topic. Yeah.
So in general, I can take a few questions. Meanwhile, Deepak is, uh, responding to the request. If anybody has any questions, I do have 5-10 minutes, so I
I
can.
mean, sir,
Huh.
let's start with my question. So basically, whoever I'm interacting with these days, they are like going more in cash. So do you think the same way, or it's like you believe in investing, remaining investing all the time? I mean, how is it for you at this point in time?
So I think we talked about basically in the space. I think about 2 weeks back, if I remember correctly, and I mean I think I was very clear about the euphoria in small and mid caps, and uh, uh, there is some correction which has happened. I don't know if the correction is over. I don't think so myself. But as I had said, I'm a kind of investors who, I mean, have is majorly invested most of the times. So that is for me. And uh, for larger portfolios, it becomes very difficult to completely move into cash, or a significant portion into cash. So for me, it is, but then for others, I think. some amount of cash could be, I think, could have been a good idea, could be a good idea. Uh, and I mean, I just hope this correction continues for some time because too much froth was there. So it might sound a bit silly to say that correction, but then for the health of the markets, these doses of corrections are very important. As long-term investors, I welcome these kind of corrections, to be honest, because then there is not a crash. If the bubble becomes too big, the crash is also very bigger. So it's better that there is some air which is let out whenever the bubble becomes starts becoming bigger. So that's the way I think. And though temporarily we might see pain in portfolios, but for long term health, and if we are to stay invested in good companies, it is healthy. That's my view.
And sir, on the solar thing, the market is seeing great future ahead. So in that pocket, how on ground, I mean, if we ask about the current developments on ground, so how you see things are changing, and I mean, although it's a long story, but again, at this point in time, how you feel that space, if you would like to talk. Sir, you're not audible to me.
Sorry. I'm saying that lot of what is happening is still importing and assembling, right? You actually for this for big winners and all that, you actually want manufacturers, and I believe that there is some start, but it will take some time. Uh, Again. The problem we have right now with these kind of markets is that any sector which is, which can do well, the valuations always run ahead of themselves. So many companies I see that, and it becomes very, very difficult for my kind of investing to, get into these sectors when, you think that this sector can do well because valuations could not be favorable. And again, you have to see that these can be very much affected by policy changes. So you have to factor in that, and that's why you need to have margin of safety whenever you invest in, especially in sectors where policy decisions can make a big difference. So some import duty or relaxation of import duty can change the whole dynamics and uh, s- you know that can if the stocks are very overvalued, then there could be steep corrections and so on. So currently margin of safety is not there. I mean, you will see me answer this for many sectors. Similar answer, I said same thing for EV also, and I would say same thing for solar uh, also. And before you ask, like even in defense, in railways, you see this, valuations going far ahead of fundamentals. This and despite these sectors can do well, uh, I think what investors are forgetting is an eye on valuations.
राइट सर। एंड सर ये जो शुगर स्टोरी में जो मेनली शुगर सेक्टर में इथेनॉल पे बहुत ज्यादा जो फोकस हो रहा था, तो उस सिनारियो में कुछ चेंज लग रहा है कि वापस जो सिक्लिकलिटी थी शुगर के उससे तो टेम्परेरी उसमें चेंजेस रहेंगे, या जो इथेनॉल स्टोरी है कुछ टाइम के लिए वो ठीक रहेगा?
I think ethanol story is intact. Sugar has become far less cyclical sector. This we have seen playing out over the years, and again, policy driven, completely political. This thing. If there is continuity, I think the sector will continue to do well. And if there is a change and if the policies remain the same, still the sector will do well. So I think a good balance has been restored in the sector by the government. Uh, and their valuations are still supportive. So that is one sector which you know, where, I can make some investments. So kind of, that is one sector which where there will be pockets where, you can still invest.
राइट सर एंड जितेन सर लाइक दीज डेज जो रिफ्रैक्टरीज हैं उनकी काफी आई मीन इफ आई टेल यू अबाउट ट्विटर टेम्परेचर तो रिफ्रैक्टरीज की काफी बात हो रही है तो माय क्वेश्चन इज लाइक मेटल साइकिल्स या जो उसका एक तरीके से एंसिलरी है तो साइकिल में ऑल्दो देयर देयर बिजनेस कर रहे हैं एंसिलरी को तो मतलब रिफ्रैक्टरीज को तो काम मिलता ही है बट अगेन ऑन ऑन अ ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट साइकिल्स does it show a uptick in the metal cycles or steel cycle or that assumption is not right to take? सर शायद म्यूट पे ही हैं अभी आप
Yeah, I'm sorry. स्टील सेक्टर में टू बी ऑनेस्ट आई स्टिल कांट मेक अप माय माइंड कि ये कहाँ जाएगा फ्रॉम यू नो स्प्रेड्स एंड ऑल दैट लेट्स सी कंजम्पशन वाइज आई थिंक वी विल डू वेल ओके अभी इसमें थ्रेट होता है इंपोर्ट्स का थ्रेट कितना है तो वो बहुत डायनेमिक है दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच वी हैव टू फिगर आउट एंड कॉन्स्टेंटली बी अवेयर ऑफ so if steel consumption is obviously going to increase and capacity is increasing, refractories will do well. And in fact, there was one particular company I was looking at, but then थोड़ा हम लोग valuations पे रुक गए to be honest. Few other companies are overvalued, so there I was evaluating one company to be honest, but still not finding the right kind of valuation.
and this sir Canada episode तो what do you think like I mean वैसे लगता नहीं बहुत ज्यादा stretch करेगा अगर इसमें और कुछ stretch होता है तो do you think like it will have some bigger impact on the market or it won't be substantial in your view?
No, I don't think if it remains as to Canada, then I don't think there will be much impact, to be honest. But if it escalates and the other countries jump in the fray, which I don't think will happen. But if that happens, then yes, there could be some impact. But I think this Canada issue, and if you see, our trade with Canada is hardly anything, to be honest. So there is not much impact, and a lot of it is actually, the politics and semantics. I am right now in Europe, and I see, and specifically in UK, and you see so many videos on the net about UK, what is happening and all that. And frankly, you see nothing of that here when you are there. So don't go by media reports. Even I was speaking to some of my Canadian friends and as my friends' children in all kids in Canada and all that. There is absolutely nothing to worry, and there is no impact at all on the ground level, to be honest. But in media, all these things keep on happening. So I think it is best to ignore. I don't think too much impact will be there.
एंड सर जो यूके और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का है तो उस पे उस डेवलपमेंट्स पे कोई व्यू है डू यू सी दैट इज हैपनिंग इन नियर फ्यूचर और इट विल टेक इट्स ऑन टाइम आई मीन
I think I don't think UK और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के आई मीन पेस में कोई चेंज आएगा टू बी ऑनेस्ट जो पेस पे चल रहा था वही पेस में चलेगा बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एपिसोड कोई चेंज मेरे हिसाब से नहीं आएगा बट वन थिंग इज गुड as an Indian you feel good that at least the country is standing up and not taking things lightly so वो एक I mean you feel proud a bit but but ये सब में कुछ ज्यादा I don't think there is much impact to be honest.
and sir, when we last spoke about the cement sector, so you were of the opinion at this point in time oversupply nahi hai. But if we take a horizon of say 12 to 18 months from here, so do you see some sense? I mean, do you see some oversupply coming in that much period, or we have enough of demand so as to consume the increased capacity across the companies in the sector?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, So capacity utilization will roughly be, I think, 70% or one or two hundred or 200 basis points here and there, which is a decent pace. I mean, which is kind of mid-cycle. I mean, when it goes above 75%, then you will see it going in the up cycle, which I don't think will happen in the next 1 2 years. But beyond that, it can happen, is what I think. But this, I think, supply and demand are evenly matched. So I don't see, capacity utilization reducing. In fact, it might inch up a bit, slightly. I think cement is in for a good time, and but nothing, nothing will happen very quickly also. So slow grinding kind of, it will happen. A slow increase in capacity utilization will happen. Uh, and you've seen that, prices have increased uh, uh, since Q1. So I think Q2 will be better and Q3 will be better than that also, obviously. So, and valuations have been supportive. So uh, that is one sector which we kind of still like.
And सर जो ये न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का है विद इलेक्शंस अहेड अर्ली नेक्स्ट ईयर, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि दैट इज अ बिगर रिस्क टू द पेपर सेगमेंट, और इट डजंट मैटर व्हिच गवर्नमेंट कम्स? अभी न्यू
नहीं,
एजुकेशन पॉलिसी उस लेवल पे है कि थिंग्स वोंट मैटर मच व्हिच एवर गवर्नमेंट कम्स.
आई थिंक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन तो स्टार्ट हो रहा है ना. सो आई थिंक it's a fillip to the paper industry. So you can expect some, demand increase for sure. So contrary to, this Q2, there was dips and all that, but I think paper prices have started rising again. So uh, I think paper sector might do well, and some of the companies have been at extremely low valuations even after, stupendous FY23, and we've seen some of them run up a bit, but I still think there is room, and I think this is one sector which can surprise everyone.
एंड सर जो टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर है उसमें कुछ अर्ली साइंस दिख रहे हैं कि आई मीन थिंग्स विल इम्प्रूव फ्रॉम हियर, और आई मीन अभी अभी नहीं है, बिकॉज लेटली डिमांड सिनेरियो वाज वेरी पुअर फॉर लास्ट 2 3 क्वार्टर्स.
So it is very perplexing. Demand scenario poor है, and revival कोई इतना बड़ा कोई uptick दिख नहीं रहा है, लेकिन valuations have gone crazy, especially in the names which I kind of like. Uh, so absolutely, I just, I'm pulling my hair out, to be honest, that, why are these valuations are there currently in the current scenario? But then that's how markets are, and you just sit out.
राइट. सो मेटल्स का, ऑल्दो यू शेयर्ड सम व्यू, तो मेटल्स में सर अभी नहीं लग रहा है आपको, मतलब, या मेटल्स में कुछ अट्रैक्टिव लग रहा है?
I'm not sure. See, I'll be very honest. It's better to say that I don't know what is happening. In the sense that I'm not able to make up, because see, China is there. No? China is the major guy, and which way it is going, God knows. Improvement hoga, कि और खराब होगा, God knows. And they are the ones who are driving the whole metals this thing, especially steel and all. So जब तक वो क्लैरिटी नहीं आती है तब तक हम कैसे व्यू ले. सो इट इज बेटर टू से दैट आई एम नॉट श्योर.
एंड सर जिस पेस से न्यू एएमसीज और म्यूचुअल फंड हाउसेस आ रहे हैं, तो आपको नहीं लगता कि स्पेस बहुत ज्यादा ओवर क्राउडेड हो जाएगा?
आई थिंक देयर इज स्टिल नीड, बिकॉज सी इफ यू सी लॉट ऑफ दिस, यू नो गुड स्कीम्स दे आर हैविंग ह्यूज एम. तो यार, आई थिंक देयर इज रूम, बट यस कंफ्यूजन होने वाला है काफी इन्वेस्टर्स को, कि किसमें इन्वेस्ट करे क्या नहीं करे. सो आई एंड आई थिंक, ये फीस तो डाउन होते जाने वाली है इवेंचुअली. दैट इज वन डिस्टिंग ग्रोथ आएगा, लेकिन मार्जिन्स कैन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड ऑल दैट. That is what is, I think, clear with rise of index funds and all that also. तो पता नहीं, आई थिंक मैंने 2019 में एक ट्वीट किया था अबाउट वन लीडिंग एएमसी कंपनी स्टिल एट द सेम वैल्यूएशन। इतना एवीएम इतना बढ़ गया तो भी बिकॉज आपके स्टार्टिंग स्टार्टिंग वैल्यूएशंस ठीक नहीं, मतलब ठीक नहीं है या प्रॉपर आपके फेवर में नहीं है, तो फिर ये होता है, मतलब 4 years एंड यू गेट नथिंग। तो आई एम स्टिल नॉट श्योर कि अभी भी इन्वेस्टेबल है एट करंट वैल्यूएशंस और नॉट। सो आई अगेन आई समथिंग वेयर till I don't get valuations where there is margin of safety, I just sit out. So and this is a market where you should be saying no for most of the ideas, to be honest.
लेकिन सर नॉर्मली आई मीन मार्केट में आप करेक्ट करना अगर मेरी अजम्पशन गलत हो, तो जब जनरल कंसेंसस एक बन जाता है तो वैसा नहीं होता है। सो एवरीबडी इज थिंकिंग कि अभी करेक्शन आने वाला है, आने वाला है या आ सकता है। and obviously like things can extend in market on both the sides। तो I mean कैसा, I mean talking about your previous experience, तो कैसा अनुभव रहा है सर आपका इस फ्रंट?
नहीं, सी द थिंग इज इट ऑल बॉइल्स डाउन टू वैल्यूएशंस ना। अगर वैल्यूएशंस आपको फेवरेबल नहीं लग रहे और वो see as I said also earlier, I'm 90% invested, maybe 10% cash I have, right? So market और ऊपर जाएगा तो भी I'm fine because I'm still 90% invested. So but at the same time this 10% or ये 90% में भी what you do with that 90%, or at least some portion of that 90% will be in defensives. For example, I have moved a lot into at least 20-30% of my portfolio lot into defensives. I book profits in a lot of places and entered into names which, if there is a correction, I expect that they will, fall far lesser. So if 50% of my portfolio falls, let's say 30%, because of it being small caps and mid caps, do I still like them? And I expect all of them to go up in the long term. That's why they are there in my portfolio. बट उनमें 30% करेक्शन, 40% करेक्शन बिल्कुल आ सकता है। बट एटलीस्ट 25-30% ऑफ माई पोर्टफोलियो शुड बी सच that it will fall only 10% kind of this thing. So that is the kind of strategies I play with, and these calibrations I do with my portfolios, and which I've done over the last few months. So see, drawdowns will be there. We will rise again, all that. But then, if you can minimize that drawdown, it is always better for your mental health also. So that's what I do. And consensus, see, consensus will be there, that markets are overvalued. But that what is the percentage of these people? Now it depends on uh, who you interact with. If you interact with lot of people who are lot of experience, you will see that. But when you go and look at a larger sample, lot of people are still saying कि अभी party शुरू हुई है, if you remember our last phase. So consensus कौन से ग्रुप में है वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। लॉन्ग टर्म में कंसेंस, मतलब इन द होल स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स में कंसेंसस आई डोंट थिंक है। अभी अभी लोगों को थोड़ा लगने लगा है बिकॉज विद दिस लास्ट आई थिंक मे बी 1 वीक और 10 डेज के करेक्शन में थोड़ा थोड़ा लोगों को डरने लगा। लेकिन अगर 10-15 दिन पहले की बात करेंगे तो लार्जर सेट ऑफ पीपल देयर वाज नो फियर, ओनली दे ओनली थॉट दैट मार्केट विल कीप ऑन गोइंग अप। सो आई थिंक दैट कंसेंसस तो नहीं था फॉर अ करेक्शन। कंसेंसस था एक set of people who have a longer experience, who have seen a lot of market cycles, lot of drawdowns, उनमें एक consensus था, but वो एक set छोटा ही है। I hope you are getting what I am saying.
All right, sir. So one question is from Mr. Mehta, Pulin Mehta. He's asking your view on REITs, real estate investment trust.
So I think, to be honest, of late I have not looked at it, but then आपको basically it's kind of a real estate play where basically own assets without directly owning them, kind of stuff. I think 8% का yield या कुछ आता है उसमें या कुछ। uh, uh, so generally I To be honest, I don't invest in REITs. I would rather, if I'm positive on real estate, I will invest in real estate stocks. But yes, I think it will make sense for a lot of people. It doesn't make sense for me, to be honest, uh, because I am able to do something else. And I also have a real estate business where I'm actually directly exposed to real estate. So, uh, for me, it may not sense, but it may make sense for a lot of people. So, since it doesn't make sense for me a lot, I don't delve too deep into it, to be honest. So, might not be the right person to even answer it.
Fair enough, sir. So I think no more questions from the audience. So anything to conclude, sir? Because I mean, you have taken all the questions which I have in my mind, and also from the comments.
No, that's all. I think after a long vacation, I'll be returning back to India uh, next week. So I hope market welcomes with some stability.
Sure, sir. Look forward to it.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for chipping in
Okay,
and sharing your
sure.
thoughts. Always
Yes,
pleasure
yes,
to have you on my spaces. So thank you
sure,
guys,
sure.
and
Thank you.
this
Okay.
session is recorded, so those who join late can surely revisit the recording. And if you are attending my spaces for the first time, surely you can connect with me because I try my best to bring the best brains practitioners in the industry. Their rich experience really help us big time to learn the nuances of market. So with this note, I take your leave. Good night. Take care. We'll come again with another interesting spaces. So thank you so much, guys.